Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police, and we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do. We have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's pleased. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help.
Chicago will be next. Chicago will be next. My kind of town. He's been hinting at it, and I guess you can say it's official. But we got a mayor and governor here in Chicago. Yes, I am from Chicago. They're resisting, and they're saying they're standing by the law. Would it be a duel in the courts? Or will we just wake up one day and sit on the news? Or will I hustle on down to parts of Chicago where it actually happens? What really got me about this was the beginning. Listen to what he says about troops, that if needed, he'll bring those as well. Listen.
The National Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police, and we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do. We have to. And
did you hear that? He's willing to do it if he has to. Now, he mentioned the ladies in the red hat, right? Okay, let's get to that. A political group that started because of the quote-unquote corruption here in Chicago. There's a group of ladies, well, the group, period. They wear the red hats. They're Trumpsters. Let's get into that.
ABC News White House correspondent Karen Travers. So Karen, Trump is clearly setting the stage here for some sort of multi-city response when it comes to the National Guard. Any sense of when this could actually happen?
No sense of when this could happen, Morgan, but the president has also indicated Memphis, Tennessee is a possible city that they would look to replicate the actions here in Washington, D.C. The president talked about that yesterday in a radio interview. He said it again last night that there would be other cities where they would try to do this surge of federal resources to tackle crime. And then the president today mentioning Chicago, talking about the city officials there failing, and that is why they need to go in there. It's not clear exactly what this would look like and how this could be in other cities, what that pushback would be from local officials as well as state officials, like, say, the governor of Illinois, for example. D.C., of course, is a unique case because you do have a city here that is not a state. You have the mayor, but there is that ability of the federal government to step in and have that oversight if they choose to. And that's what the president is doing with this emergency order. But also the important thing is that an order is only lasting 30 days. And a big question for the White House here in D.C. is what's going to happen after that? Are they looking to extend it? And they haven't yet said what the president's plans are.
Yeah, all eyes on that. Karen Travers, thank you.
Okay, here we go. And here's a testimony from that rep, Chicago Flips Red. Check it out. Now, I want to tell you ahead of time, this politician got on the red and black, and there's there's the purple. People, there will be a little movement to straighten out Chicago, but the way I look at it, it's on a higher level, same game of chess where they play good cop, bad cop. And I don't think it's a coincidence that you got a purple book here and he's got on red and black, which means sacrifice. So I say allegedly, but hey, it's right there. Flanked with the gold background like the golden age. People, it's all game. But hey, they're more than welcome. In a sense, we brought on ourselves, but a lot of this stuff has been instigated. It took decades to get here, generations to get here. The crime in the street, the drugs, the gangs, the minorities and poor Latinos and whites, they don't have access to the guns unless the powers drop them off here. They have the infrastructure. Same thing with the drugs. You understand what I'm saying? So this is psychological entrapment and getting our will to participate in our own doom. Now they want to legislate bringing in um, the legal arm, which is what they always wanted. They just had to figure out a creative way to do it and sell it to us. But anyway, check it out.
You testified that Chicago has cut law enforcement in order to divert those funds to support the illegal population. Ms. Carter-Walters, why did people in Chicago put up with that?
Well, I think that we know that we can see what's happening and we know something is wrong, but people are just so used to the corruption in Chicago, and we just usually say that's just how it goes in Chicago. But now we have Chicago Flips Red, who's standing up to the corruption and saying no more.
The Democrats say that a city that refuses to enforce federal law should nevertheless continue to receive federal law enforcement funds, presumably so that they can divert them to support the illegal population. Does that make any sense to you?
No.
To me either. Sheriff Wagner, we've heard from the Democrats.
So it looks good on the surface, but like I said, I think it's going to be a dog and pony show so you can get a bigger grip. See, Chicago's a big city. Washington is like the beehive. I'm going to say it again. Chicago's a big city. Washington is like the beehive. And whatever happens in Washington will reverberate throughout the 50 states. So gradually they're Pac-Manning their way into every state. And at some point, there will be a question of law and order. And that's when they'll bring in the troops. It's just a gradual thing. This is why you see almost every day now, somebody's holding somebody up, somebody's unaliving somebody, somebody's threatening somebody, somebody's doing a prank at a college, somebody's unaliving or having a unalive moment at a school, robbery at Walmart, robbery at Target. A lot of this stuff, the powers, they do this. They're feeding the atmosphere so we can call for correction. And the correction that they really have, it's a 50-state lockdown, people. That's just what I feel in my heart. I know the devil. I can see it a mile away. Here's the governor of Chicago, Pritzker.
Say he has absolutely no right and no legal ability to send troops in to the city of Chicago, and so I reject that notion. There is a law on the books confirmed by the Constitution called posse comitatus, and it means that the federal government does not have a right to send soldiers into American cities for the purpose of, well, for any purpose really, but specifically to fight crime, let's say. And that is what he's suggesting that he will do, violate that law. It's not surprising to me that he suggests violating the law. He's done it many times and been convicted of it 34 times. I reject criticism and don't really want to respond to criticism from Donald Trump, who inherited his money and then went bankrupt 6 times.
So this is what we get, the back and forth, good cop, bad cop. And Trump is on the throne. See, he's in position. This is what the powers have historically done. People, I have studied this stuff for over 45, 47 years, 48 years, whatever, ever since I was 17. And once you see the pattern, the predictability is just there. It's their word, it's golden. You can tell this is what they're after. Because people, they're fallen angels. And they know this is their last chance, their last quest to get this thing. Additional demons have been let out by the alleged CERN. They've been letting them out. They got their corporals, their sergeants, their lieutenants, their corporals, their majors. They've got their ranking system. These people, these spirits, these fallen angels, legions, thousands, maybe millions of angels, dark angels. They're in our space. You wonder why the world is in the condition that it's in? They're in our space. And they're seizing this thing because it's the last days. Thank God that God sent the prophets of old, those who wrote this Bible. They gave us what we needed to understand. The Holy Spirit does the rest in revealing. And I'm here to ensure that this word will go forth the best way I can to let you know that Jesus Christ said these days and these things, these events would happen because it's a grab for power. America has been doing this thing overseas in foreign countries for generations. Now it's our turn. Don't let anybody fool you. Land the free, home of the brave. That's us, but it's not them. They have never had our good intent in heart. If they were so keen, if they were so gallant, if they were so noble in turning this thing around, the drugs would have never came into our communities, people. The guns would have never found their way in our community. I have done videos on it on my last channel. I've talked about it on this channel. But all you gotta do is do the research and watch the testimony of, I believe it was LA or San Francisco or LA police officers who talked about the guns and the drugs in the 70s being dropped off in these major cities. It's one of the most shocking videos ever. That these are people in law enforcement who risked their life. And they told these stories. We're talking 50-something years in the making. And Satan he's patient. Because 50 years is like, ain't nothing but a second to him. It's a long time for us. But in terms of him planning his planning stages, hey, he ain't got nothing but time. That's the way he was feeling back then. That's how he was feeling then. Let me get a hold of this generation. Let me get a hold of the parents and make them wayward, especially in the minority communities. Let me push the man out of the projects and tell the woman, okay, you got the babies. You can raise the babies, but you can't have the man in the projects. We'll give you the money. Then they put the drugs in the gangs. Before you know it, arguably 30, 40% of young blacks, young Latinos, young whites went to prison. Then you couple that with the rap situation. You know how it go. And now the kids are emulating their parents who are in jail, if they ever made it out. And if they did make it out, a lot of them were dysfunctional. This is all about the social planning. And then decades ago, they put the prisons on the stock market? Are you kidding me? They put prisons on the stock market so they can make money off of us another way. This is an ugly, cruel, devilish system. If they really cared about us, they would have done the things to prevent this moment. You understand? But they didn't. They wanted us to fall right in it. They know if they craft a fiendish plot like this and you got 1,000 people, they know at least 250 gonna fall for it. And that 250 can drag the whole thing down. They know it. Then you get a hold of the police, get a hold of the news, and then you doctor up that thing that you drinking and smoking. I'm gonna say it again. Then you doctor up that thing that people are drinking and smoking, and you think you're getting high, but it's getting in your stream. Hello, it's getting on your stream. What do I mean by stream? Inside you, that stream. I can't say the word, but think about it. That which you consuming since the 70s is not the same thing you consuming in 2000 going forward. I'm convinced it has been an experiment on us. The things that we've been induced with, drinking and smoking and inhaling. Once they get you hooked and get you a habit of generations of taking these substances, then they doctor on the substances and they make you crazy. Then you get the dopamine. You fiend for it. They're killing us. Now they want to control us. And they playing both sides. So come on to Chicago. I'm not sure if I trust any group on any side anymore. But I'll work with it. Maybe I can save a couple of hundred. Oh yeah, I'm gonna be there. And I'm gonna talk about the goodness of the Lord. And try to speak as candidly as I'm speaking right now. Because people need to know it's about their soul. It's a wicked world. But thank God for Jesus. Now all this came out today, but let me tell you what I found. Let me share what I found today. Trump in the White House entertaining everybody. Now let me show you the picture that he showed. Check it out.
We have testifying before that. I'm so good. And I was just sent a picture from somebody that wants to be there very badly. He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But he'll, I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one, and I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens.
So Trump inviting Putin to the FIFA World Cup, showing off a picture of him, right?
Yeah, that's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot. He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But he'll, I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one.
So I signed it to him. Now watch this. That's his birthday. I said, that's his birthday, October 7th. October 7th, 2025, his next birthday. Today is 8/22/2025. He signed a picture of him and Putin to send to him. Putin's birthday is 47 days from now. Y'all see the game? Y'all see the game? 47 days from today, including tonight, is Putin's birthday. And he want to send him a picture. Really? I got a picture. I got a picture. I see Nephilim at work throughout America and throughout the world. That's the picture that I see. That's the picture I see. I see fallen angels at work. I see liars at work. I see camera hogs at work. I see folks in positions of power that got there because they put themselves in positions of power through money and coercion and unaliving people and shaking folks down and embarrassing them, getting them to go to different islands and different parties and videotaping them so the courts can't operate right, so evil can run rampant. By the time the police arrest them and the ink not even dry, the criminals right back out. I see lax laws. That's the picture I see. You want to send somebody a picture. Send them a picture of us trying to wade in this thick, dark water. But thank God he sent Jesus, the life preserver, the savior. If you don't know him, it's time. We got to get right. We got to stay right. Get ready for the flight. Because this world wasn't made for us. Not after sin. That's why he created new heaven, new earth. At the beginning, it was created for us. But what's being made is not for us. There is a difference. If you want to help the channel, my name is Friendshot Pearson. Click on my site, Friendshot Blue. Click on my portrait right here. And then from there, you can click on more. Click on more right here. I have Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, and PayPal. Also a P.O. box. Send a love offering. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's very hard to do these type of videos. They don't go to the big audience. They really don't. It's hard for whatever reason, but I'm doing what I can. God bless you, God, and God bless your family. Thank you.